Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Lost Boyz Podcast. This is episode 43, getting closer to that 1 year mark. So subscribe because we're trying to hit 100 for the 1 year episode. So subscribe.
Yeah.
Subscribe. With that being said, I'm Gianni, by the way.
Brandon.
Welcome. If you're new to the channel, again, subscribe. I'm going to keep saying it because we want 100 subscribers for the New Year episode. Well, the 1 year anniversary is what I meant to say. Episode. So yeah, anyways, we're going to jump right into it. Today's topic, a bit controversial. There's people on one side of it, and there's people on the complete opposite side of it. I don't think there are too many people that are, I'm sure there are people in the middle. They're definitely the minority of the population. Yeah. But with that being said, we're going to talk about the one and only, the most infamous man in the world right now, Andrew Tate.
My guy Tater Tot.
Fun fact, he created tater tots.
Yeah, him.
Fact check it. Google it.
So for those of you who have actually been living under a rock, Sir Andrew Tate has been arrested in Romania on, what was it? Human trafficking charges?
Human trafficking, allegedly.
Allegedly. Now, this causes all kinds of controversy because for those of you who don't know Andrew Tate, he's a little controversial, let's say. He presents definitely against the grain ideology towards, I don't even want to say women because I don't think he's necessarily focused on women. I just think between men and woman dynamics in general, I think his message is more focused around men.
Yeah,
but
I would agree.
Gets skewed a kind of way. I don't want to use the term skewed, but gets received a kind of way.
Yeah, misinterpreted.
Yeah, where it causes
some uproar.
Massage.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, so this is for me, in my personal opinion, for me, Gianni, I don't even find a lot of his stuff to be controversial for that reason, because the majority of it is about men needing to become better. At least, I mean, I've watched all his stuff.
Yeah.
So from I see what the clips are, but I also know the full video, so I understand what he's saying because I watched the full videos. So I have an understanding, and that's why I don't fall for the traps on social media, because to me, I don't think it's controversial at all. I'm like, no, what he's saying about men needing to be better is 100% facts.
It's true.
He may not be saying it in the way you like it, but who cares? If 1 + 1 = 2, then 1 + 1 still equals 2. So, and I think the way he says it is the best way. I like to be, I like blunt, like just straight up honesty like that, versus somebody like beating around the bush or trying to coddle. I think it's way better than that. I think most people should be that way. Like he says, most men should be that way as well. As far as the women's stuff, to be honest, there's a lot I agree with as well. And I also don't think it's that controversial in my opinion. I think maybe it's just the delivery of how he's saying it that causes the uproar towards it. Because like, even if you watch his podcast, right, he will say things and you see clips and everything. And then you see him on a podcast with a woman. And he says the same exact thing, but then they're understanding of it.
Yeah, they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, they're more understanding of it. Even if they may not agree, they can see the viewpoint of where he's coming from at least. So it just goes to show like how clipping things takes things so out of context.
Oh yeah, I can give you an example. Not too long ago, maybe about 2 weeks ago, I saw a clip on TikTok, and it was comparing what went viral versus the full, like, not even the full thing, just like 10 seconds more than what was actually posted. And if you look at the clip that went viral, it's just Andrew Tate saying, oh my God, like, can you get in the kitchen? Like, oh no, I forget the exact words he used. He said, he was like, oh my God, can you make me a sandwich, right? Yeah. But then if you look at the full clip, like literally not even the full clip, just 10 more seconds is, I'm going to provide for you. I'm going to pay for everything. You're never going to have to do anything. I vow to protect you to my last breath, right? Like, he's saying all this noble shit. Yeah. And he says, and for this, can you just make me a sandwich, please? And then, but they only took the one clip, and that went viral. And all the comments are like, this dude needs to be canceled.
That's funny as hell.
But it's like 5 seconds before he said that, he said he was going to die for you.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's funny. It's funny for sure. It's definitely interesting too, because like I said, there's no like, there aren't many people in the middle ground. It's like there's people who strongly agree here and strongly agree here, and like they both try to make their case. For me personally, I guess this makes it a little biased episode, But I'm a fan of Andrew Tate. I'm on Andrew Tate's side. I think he's done nothing wrong that's been proven, at least to this point. And I don't see what's the big commotion about what he's saying. Like I don't see, like, to me everything he says just makes sense. It's like, oh yeah, somebody who's articulating the thoughts I already had, or who's putting it in a way where the mass can understand. Like, I don't think he's saying anything crazy. I was talking to a coworker today, and I was saying that I was like, I don't understand. If what he was saying was like so false and incorrect and horrible, why is there such a massive following behind it, and like a strong, like they're committed and devoted and loyal to him? It's because he's saying something that a lot of people have been thinking for a long time. No one's just said it yet, and now they finally feel like, yes, somebody who gets it, they can agree with somebody, which means to an extent there has to be some truth to it. Agreed. Because if it was 100% false, then no one would believe it. Or if they did believe it, it'd be very minuscule. It'd be like conspiracy theories. Yeah. Like, yeah, you know of them, but how many of them do you really know? You know, it's not like they're the most Googled person on earth. They're all still ideas. Yeah, exactly.
At that point. The thing with why it's so polar with Andrew Tate is because you're going to see a lot of these like viral clips that are just super out of context, right? And it's either you support him or you don't. And the reason why it's one or the other is because if you've never heard of Andrew Tate and you ask, oh, what's up with this Tate guy that everybody's talking about? Typically, the first thing you're going to hear is, oh, he's a misogynist. He says this. Yeah,
depending who you ask.
Yeah, of course. But I'm saying if you ask like a non-supporter, like, gotcha. Like if you're just like chilling at work and you ask a random coworker, chances are they're going to say, oh, that guy's a fucking scumbag. He says this about women and that, and that. And that whole introduction is why a lot of people are forced to like kind of naturally dislike him. Yeah. Like it's not like you like him or you don't. It's you either dislike him, disagree with him, or you like him. Yeah. Because the people who don't really know him are pushed into that disliking him category.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of followers too as well. Like, and on both sides, right? There's people who follow because they see like, oh, he's got this, this, and that. A lot of people like him. A lot of maybe their friends agree with this, so they feel like, okay, I have to agree with that. I don't want to be the outsider. Mm-hmm. And then there's definitely that on the opposite side, where there's definitely a ton of them who are just followers. They see the internet hates him, so they just hate him. They don't even know why they're hating on him. They saw maybe one clip or little things. They saw news headlines that they don't know if whether they're true or not, and they just know, oh, people hate him. Look at this headline. Oh, yeah, I don't like him. There's a guy who goes around doing interviews on the street, and he'll ask people, or on college campuses, I think it is, and he asks like people like, oh, do you know who Andrew Tate is? Most of them will be like, yeah. Like, oh, what's your opinion on him? And you're like, oh, I hate that. Like, a lot of them say, oh, I hate that guy. He's, especially the women, he's a misogynist. He's this, and that. And the guy asks the same question. He'll be like, so can you give me one example of a time he was? And they never know what to say. And it goes to show like the masses, they move like they're followers. The majority of people are followers. Yeah, they don't know how to formulate opinions for themselves. And I also think is a lesson for anybody who's listening to this, whether you agree or not. You should always hear both sides out before, like, you need to know both sides in order to come to figure out what the truth is. You can't say, oh, you know what, I agree with this, that's wrong. Mm-hmm. No, you need to study why they think that, because that's going to do two things. Either one, you're going to change your mind and agree with them, or two, you're going to realize how much you could combat their argument, and it makes your point even stronger, and then reassures your beliefs 10 times more. But people don't do that. Nah. There's just straight up division.
Like, we've said this on the podcast before. The way to formulate an opinion is, like you said, one, look into it, see both sides, figure out what you feel, and then try to prove yourself wrong. Yeah. Jump into the other side and try to prove yourself wrong.
Yeah. When you look at, like, scientists, right? When scientific theories or theories in general that get taught in curriculums and things like that, they're not taught because they've been proven to be true. It's not that they've been proven to be true. They just haven't been proven to be false yet, which kind of sounds like, oh, well, then that makes it true. But no, it doesn't, because it's still theorized. It's still a theory. How they get to that point is by trying to disqualify every little tiny thing possible, like down to the T, until there's no other explanation as to why they can't disqualify this, that then it becomes science. Until that point, it's not science. It's just, what's the word?
Theory.
Not theory, because theories can be taught. Like in school, there's theories that, like psychology, there's a lot of theories taught in the curriculum. But first, the scientific method, observation. There's observations. There's.
Oh, Papa, you asking the wrong questions.
Damn, man, that just ruined my whole speech. But damn, what's the word? It's like right there. I can't remember it though. It's like
hypothesize.
Yes, hypothesis. Yes, it's a hypothesis up until that point, and then it's a theory. And unless it can be 100% non-disqualifiable and then proven that it's a 100% true, then it's a scientific fact. Till then, it's a scientific theory prior. And before that, before it can be debunked as a theory or anything, before it's even tested to that point, it's just a hypothesis.
There's to further back your point, there's a clip of Neil deGrasse Tyson on the Joe Rogan podcast, and he says that we take science as fact, but science isn't really fact. It's just something happened. We've concluded this is why it happens. It seems to make sense. We can't prove it wrong. Cool, fuck it. Next thing.
Yeah.
And he says the reason why science is set up that way is because if we were to sit there and try to figure out every detail of every single thing, we would still be trying to figure out why an apple fell off a tree.
Yeah.
He says at some point you just got to let it go and move on to the next thing. So once you can't prove it wrong, like you've thrown a couple fucking darts at it. All right, shit makes sense. Fuck it, next thing.
Yeah, and that kind of goes back to the main point that we're talking about, where it's like you got to see both sides and then make your point and choose. And I mean, then choose your side for that reason, because you can analyze all day, every day, but then you're just going to be analyzing all day, every day. Also, if you see an apple falling, you think, oh, it fell because of this, and you never challenge the belief, well then, how would you ever be wrong in anything ever in life? You don't challenge your beliefs. If I think 2 + 2 is 4 and 2 + 2 is 5, and I never challenge 2 + 2 equaling 5, then I'm never going to be wrong in my head. 2 + 2 is always going to be 5, and I'm always going to be right. Anybody that says 4 to me is retarded. But is that the truth? Not necessarily. It could be, but it's not. But how would I ever find out unless I actually challenge it? And not challenge it to be an ass or a cynic or anything like that, but actually challenge it to learn and to understand, like, okay, so this is why this and this takes place. This is why this and this happens. Okay, so now I'm understanding. Maybe I don't agree. I think this proves my point stronger, or you know what? That actually proves my point wrong. I think I agree with this more. That's the approach most people should take, but everyone's ignorant. Not everyone. The majority of the population is ignorant.
Yeah. Like, that whole ignorance is bliss is true in society.
It is true. There's a very minority that's not ignorant and open-minded.
And you know what's funny? The majority that think they're not ignorant
are the
ones that are ignorant.
Yeah, they're the most ignorant ones.
It reminds me of, I think we spoke about it like either last week when we recorded or the week before, which it was what Elon Musk posted. And he was like, it's like them, you're brainwashed, and it's like the syringes, the flags, and everything. Yeah, and it's like him just standing with the American flag.
Yeah, I'm brainwashed for being patriotic.
And it's like,
that's crazy. That really is the viewpoint, though.
It's true, and because like growing up, right? By growing up, I mean in high school, I was super every single movement that came out. Yo, them movements were dropping like new Call of Duty games, bro, and I was supporting every single one, right? And then I got to a point where I had to step back and be like, well, I don't even know what I fucking think. Like, yeah. I started looking around and I started realizing, oh, wait, I actually disagree with this. I disagree with that. Actually, this is more beneficial than that, right? Yeah. And then that's when I realized something. And this isn't to be like a conspiracy theorist or anything like that. Like, if you disagree, fuck you. I don't care, right? Like, comment down below. We can go back and forth, right? Like, I've formulated my opinions and I have tried to debunk them. And that doesn't mean I'm 100% right. Maybe somebody else is smarter on a topic than me. Cool. I'm totally open to discussion and being proven wrong. Yeah. Right? Because then that means I won. I got the benefit, right? Mentally. Anyways, I started realizing when you take belief, right? Because I think belief is one of the strongest forms of drive, I would say, like defending what you know to be true, whether it's your religion, your morals, things like that, that hits deep for people, right? Like, imagine somebody telling you that what your mother that you love so much, right, that raised you so well, is what she taught you is all wrong. You're going to take offense to that. Yeah. It's going to bring out emotion. And what better way to bring out emotion in people than through like an ideology that challenges their morals, right? So what does that mean? All these movements that were coming out, right? It was just like, yo, these are all things that were framed a certain way that if you disagreed with it, you were attacking morals. You weren't just being like an intellectual and having an opinion. No. You were fucking attacking people. Like, the fact that you think Andrew Tate isn't a shitty person means you think women should be slaves. Like, some extreme shit, right? And it's like, no, that's not at all the case. That's the emotion behind the argument. Because, and to tie it back to Andrew Tate real quick, if you listen to his message, it's actually very pro-woman. It's actually very women are high value and should be protected. Yeah. So it's like drawing in that emotion is the issue. And it's kind of done intentionally because if I could get you emotional, I can make you do whatever I want.
Yeah. And then obviously then there's virality and there's more attention and more economics at it, all those things. But I want to go back to what you were just talking about people not getting their beliefs challenged or things like that. And I think it comes down to one big reason, and it's because people don't want to come off as being unintelligent, looking like a fool, or embarrassed. Oh, that's more than one. But it's those things. Yeah. Because think about it, like, for example, myself, right? Up until like 2021, I thought a specific way. And over this last year, I've seen how wrong and faulty all my thought processes are. I've grown so much in just from 2021 till now that I look back and I'm like, damn, I can't believe I was thinking, like, I can't believe I thought that way. Can't believe I fell for this. Bro, damn, I can't believe they got me. But it took me wanting to be wrong and being okay with being wrong to get to that point where I think most people, like, I'm not afraid to say, like in 2019, I was going crazy for something, and now I'm like the complete opposite side of it. I'm not embarrassed or scared to come out and say, you know what, I did do that, and now I understand I'm wrong, and my views have changed. But I think the mass majority of people are afraid to do that for those reasons. It's human nature to want to be accepted and appreciated by everyone. That's just human nature, bottom line. So no one wants to be proven wrong or feel like they're wrong, because then they take it personally and they think, oh, am I dumb? Am I unintelligent? People are going to think something of me. I'm embarrassed now. So they're afraid to challenge the beliefs they have. Therefore, they never challenge them and they never grow mentally. Yeah. And I think that's where the whole basis comes from of like why so many people are so like closed-minded and ignorant, because it's human nature. You want to be accepted. If you see a big populace preaching this and you know, oh, if I preach that too, they're going to accept me. They're going to like me. They're going to want to hang out with me and be a part of me. All right, cool, I'm going to do that. Versus being like, damn, if I change my mind, they're not going to fuck with me no more. I might be lonely for a little bit. It may be harder to find friends that agree with me. So they just stick with that because they don't want to be alone. Whereas I think the people in general that succeed and go further and become more intelligent and learn and progress in life are the ones that can see that, notice it, and say, you know what? I'm still going to go this way. Yep. I'm still going to challenge it. I'm still going to try this, and that. And I think that's where everything goes south. It's people being embarrassed. So, like, there's probably somebody who lives in a house or has friends who despise Andrew Tate, let's say, right? But they themselves agree with a lot of the things they say. And deep down, they understand what he's saying, and they understand the reality of it. And to them, it's true and it's applicable in their life, but they're afraid to voice it because then their friends are going to change their opinion on them and not look at that person the same way. They're not going to want to be friends with that person. They're going to think, like you said, oh, they go to the extreme. They think, oh, this is you. So for that reason, the friends stay shut and they put on this mask like, oh no, yeah, F that guy. But deep down inside, they feel the same way. Yeah. And I think that's the issue in general with the world is people are afraid to get their ego hurt. They're too soft. Like it's been preached. people are too soft, especially men are way too soft. If the men see the masses of women saying certain things, they're going to agree with them. You know why? They want to get fucking laid.
Yeah.
That's just common knowledge. Like, that's logic 101. Any man should understand that. And to think that that's not the case, then you're just a lunatic.
Yeah.
That's just straight up ludicrous right there. That's insanity. To really think that, no, come on. None of that shit exists if all the guys say, I'm okay, never mind.
It's true.
That shit doesn't exist then. Like, it will go nowhere. But, I don't know. To end my long rant, I think that's where the whole premise of everything begins.
Look, at the end of the day, men are the backbone, right? If you want to push a narrative, right? Not to say you need to get men behind it, but feminism doesn't mean shit unless men support it too.
Yeah.
Like, and I think
I have a perfect finish.
I was just gonna say exactly what you just said is proof of that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's so easy to sway the male populace nowadays with something as simple as getting laid, and that's exactly what Andrew Tate's talking about. I was like, no, men need to be stronger.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I have a perfect example about your statement on like men are the backbone of things. Look at the WNBA. And I'm not the person, I didn't create this saying. I heard it somewhere else. I'm just reiterating it.
I haven't heard this before, but
yeah. Look at again, this is not, like, I'm pretty sure there's a clip. I forget who said it. But if you see it, this is where I'm getting it from. Which is a fact, too. I agree with it, which is why I'm saying it. Anyways, he was saying, look at the WNBA, right? Actually, it might have been Andrew Tate. I'm not sure. But look at the WNBA, right? They're always complaining it's not fair that the male athletes in the NBA are getting paid a ridiculous amount more than they are. And the answer to that is so simple. It's okay. Well, the answer why you're not getting paid more is not because you're a woman. It's because no one's watching it. They're getting paid because people are watching it. That's how these businesses are making their money, these teams. Mm-hmm. That's how the association makes its money. You guys aren't drawing in the crowd. Okay, so if we look at the populace, right? There's more women than men in the world in general. And I'm pretty sure there's more women than men in America as a whole. If you just got every single woman in this world to watch a WNBA game, you guys would blow the NBA out the water of how much money you make. Mm-hmm. How many women do you know watch the WNBA? I'd argue there's more men that watch WNBA than women.
I agree.
How many women do you know watch the WNBA? But then they'll use that in an argument saying it's not fair women get paid less. But you don't support the women yourself.
Yeah.
So you want the benefit of it, but you can't even support it yourself. If all the men started watching WNBA, guess who would start getting paid more? Women. Mm-hmm. Because they're the ones watching it. But the women themselves don't want to do it. So without the men, to an extent, it's just going to crumble and fail.
I agree.
And I agree with that argument, too, towards feminism, where without men backing feminism doesn't exist. And the main reason why I would say 99% of men are backing it is because they just want to get laid.
I agree.
I don't think they genuinely care. I think they just trying to fit in. They want to be accepted by the populace, and they want to get laid. Which brings me to my second point, which I was going to bring before, but I forgot. But I just remembered. I low-key forgot it again. Oh, no, I remember. So another thing that a lot of people do, too, is we live in a time now where if you believe one side, that you're a good person. You're morally correct. Your morals and values are good, everything. There's no way you could be a bad person for believing this. And it's like, yo, what? Like, when I think of the people who go to one, like, for example, let's say I think women should be paid the same amount as men, even though that's a myth, that they do get paid the same amount. Anyways, let's say I'm on that side, right? People who are complete assholes will think they're a great person just because they believe that and they support it. Oh, no, I support the right cause. The right cause to me that I think is right. I'm a great person. And then they go and do fucking terrible shit. But they think because of their belief, it just cancels it out. Oh, no, it's okay. That's another issue going on.
So hold on. What you just said, right? that person that thinks that they're a good person, that they're right, and right? Obviously, they're going to think they're a good person, but that collective of people is out here trying to get other people fired, lose their jobs, their stability, their ability to care for their families.
Which we've talked about before.
Yeah, we have spoken about that before on the podcast, all because you disagree with them.
Yeah, and that's where I can't support it no more. I can disagree with somebody and be like, hey, you know what? You have your opinion, I have mine. I respect yours, you respect mine. Cool. Life goes on. But just because I have a different opinion, I now think you're the bad person, and because you believe this, you need to be canceled. You need to lose your job. You can't have this. You can't have that. You need to go fucking dig coal mines, if that shit even exists still, just to support your family because I believed you were a bad person for disagreeing with me. That's where I lose the cause. That's where I'm like, all right, see, now you lost me. Because you're supposed to be this great humanitarian, empath, but you disagree with me? Oh, sorry. I throw all that out the window real quick. Let me fuck your life over, and then I'll go back to being a great, empath, good person. It's like, oh, come on. You're being so contradictory right now. It's like, this is why no one takes you serious. The hypocrisy is fucking insane.
See, this is a conversation I was having with Jeremy the other day, is the ability to disagree with respect doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Like, if I disagree with you, it's like I'm supposed to hate you.
Yeah.
Like, yo, I could think, yeah, you know what? Men and women this. And you could think that, men and women that. We can disagree. I can still think you're an intelligent guy. Or woman, right? I can still think you're intelligent. I can still think you're a good person. We just have differing like opinions or beliefs. But it all goes back to that emotional argument. The way things are presented nowadays, and this is 100% on the media, right? Because if I see something about fucking people in Portugal and they're going to change the way they're picking their leaves, right? I'm not going to give a fuck, right? Because that doesn't affect my life in any way, shape, or form. But if you spin it and make it a way that it's like a crime against humanity that they're going to pick their leaves different, right? And now I feel like there's an attack on people. I'm going to be like, oh my God, like this is horrible. Guess what? The media does that shit on purpose. Yeah. They need you to get emotional so like that you can have a reaction to it. You can watch more.
That's how they make their money.
Yeah, like don't forget the news it's a business.
Yeah, everything's a business. It's funny. I saw on Twitter today, somebody reposted a video of people in France protesting, I guess for money stuff about like living and costs and all that stuff. And the caption was like, oh, funny how the media over here isn't reporting this. And I didn't comment or nothing, but my very first thought was, why the fuck would America post that if it's France? What the fuck does that have to do with us? Like, everybody wants to be like this, put down this perception like, oh yeah, I'm this great person because like I care that French are having an issue right now. I care about their cost of living and all these things. No, the fuck you don't. You don't give a shit. You don't give a fucking fuck about that. Because if you did, you'd fucking give all your money away to everybody you ever came across. So you don't give a shit about that. You just want the governments to be in your favor. And the minute it is not, then it's a problem. Yeah. You want this to be in your favor. And the moment it's not in your favor, then it's a problem. It's only okay when it's beneficial to you. But the minute there's cons to it, you don't want the cons.
Yeah, that's it.
It's like, no. If you want this, everything comes with pros and everything comes with cons. So either you accept it for what it is or you shut the fuck up.
You just reminded me of a time when, and we did talk about this on the podcast way back when. Do you remember the Israel and Palestine situation?
They always have a situation. Right. Always.
Yeah, but I remember over here it was like, free Palestine and fuck Israel
and then there was the complete opposite too.
And then it's like, fuck Palestine, nah, Israel, right? And I'm like, yo, you live in the suburbs in Jersey, you don't know what the fuck is going on over there. Like,
and the majority of them don't even know the history behind it, why it's happening, who's on the right, who's not on the right, is there even a right? Things like that. Like, no one's questioning these things. They just see an Instagram story post. And then everybody just reposted and reposted. Look, I'm a good person because I reposted it.
Like, and I'm not saying either side was right or wrong. Like you said, or who knows what's right, who's wrong, right? Like, I don't know the history, but what I do know is that you guys most likely don't know the history either.
Yeah.
So you could be jumping, and this is like honestly something that I feel like we've touched on so much, but it's so important. You could be jumping on the bandwagon of the wrong side.
Yeah.
But you know what? Everybody you agree with is going to tell you that you're right, so you're just going to fight for the wrong side.
And you know what's the craziest part? Once they found out they're on the wrong side, they'll never bring it up. Never bring it up. They'll never come out and say, damn, you know what, guys? I was wrong. I made a mistake. I was misinformed. Maybe I was ignorant in the moment. And I've come to realize my decisions were not the right ones. My beliefs were the wrong ones. And I've now learned and moved on, and I'm going to take that going forward. Now it's hush, hush. So, like, I could scold you today about this cause and scold you for 3 months. And then on the 4th month, it comes out, I was 100% wrong. And then I just come sit down, like, yo, what's up? Never bring it up again. It's like, all right, bro. So now you don't take accountability either on top of all this. Like, come on. This is why, going back to Andrew Tate, this is why I agree with a lot of things he says, because it's just simple observation. Like, he's not saying outlandish fucking crazy ideas. No, he's just observing the masses and saying, look, this is what the masses are doing. This is what they need to do better. And everybody's fucking pissing and screaming for that. I'm like, and that proves the point even further. Like, I feel like that's the biggest issue that the other side is failing to see, and that they're making their argument even worse. It's like he says something that is just logic. Like, just take a look and with an open mind and really observe, and you'll see, oh shit, this is happening. Wow, okay. Instead, they see it, they piss, scream, everything, they go crazy, and it's like, to the people that do believe it, they see that reaction, they're like, yeah, he's right. You're proving it right now. Like, even right now with the media outlets and everything right now, everything he said is just continuously getting proven right. Like, they keep trying to do things to him, and it's just proving him further and further to be right. Rather, if they just had left him alone and let him just say what he said and never did any of those things, then people would be like, yeah, you know, you say all these things though, but look, you're like, everything's like, nothing's happened. You haven't been canceled. You haven't been taken to jail. But instead, what's happened? He's been canceled, like he said he was going to be. Now he's in jail, like he said he would be. And the next thing he said was death, but we'll see. But even like that is crazy. Like on Twitter, I follow Vice, and they dropped an article with a little video about the whole Andrew Tate thing, and they're pointing him out to be this bad person. And it was funny because when you watch the clip, it's a little clip. It's somebody talking. I forgot who was talking to him, but you could tell he was a bit frustrated in his response. And then it was a completely different question. And then they put the same clip again of him being frustrated with that response to show like, oh, look, they got him emotional and things like, and everybody under the comments, the Twitter, the internet does not fail. They know how to do, some of them know how to do their homework, because that shit got reposted so many times, being exposed to the point Vice turned off the comments to the video. And I think they took down the entire post because they got exposed. Tom Khan, I think that's his name, Tom Khan. He's Andrew's boy from Dubai. He even exposed, like, he posted the video. He posted a whole thread about it and everything. And like everybody was just exposing, like, look, you can see the chop. You can see how this is the same exact clip. If you go watch the interview, you realize how far apart like these things are. Like, it's crazy how they're trying to do these things. So then when I hear him say that, I'm like, yeah, I agree with that. That sounds like I can see that perspective. And then they do this. I'm like, okay, yeah, this shit is legit, bro. You're proving it right. You're making your case worse. You're trying to fight for the cause, and all you're doing is proving the other side to be stronger.
It's true. Like,
it's crazy.
It's essentially shooting yourself in the foot. Like, and you're like, oh, we need to stop this. Well, you're going out of your way to stop it so much. Why do you need to stop it?
It only affects you if it's true. And how they're responding to it is through emotion. And like it's been said, when you do things emotionally, you always tend to fuck it up somehow. Somewhere along the way, when you react emotionally, it tends to happen, and there tends to be a negative side effect to it. There may be a small positive effect, like, oh yeah, I feel better, I got my revenge. Oh yeah, I got him. There's a few people like, yeah, you did it right. But the majority of That's the iceberg.
Yeah.
Then everything below it, the tip of the iceberg, everything below it is all negative things that happen. And that's what's happening. They're reacting emotionally, which is proving the point that this world is fucking soft. And number two, if everything he said was complete bullshit and not true, then no one would believe it. That's it. It's that simple. It can only be true if you let it affect you.
Mm-hmm.
If it's affecting you, it's because it's true. Otherwise, it would not affect. Like if somebody comes and starts calling me a bitch and a pussy and a faggot and all these things, you think I give a fuck? I'm like, all right, dude, cool. Because to me, I know it's not true.
Mm-hmm.
But if I respond, no, fuck you, well, then it must be true that I'm a bitch, faggot, pussy, because I'm letting it affect me like a bitch, faggot, pussy.
It's true.
So it's like the point you're trying to disprove, you're just proving it further. I don't know.
It's totally fucking.
To me, it's just obvious. It's just like logic, which is why I agree with him so much. And then when I see other people who don't agree in their points, I'm just like, you don't get it, bro. Like it's frustrating. It's like, how do you not see? How do you that dumb? But I just let it rock.
I wanted to bring this up back before when we were talking about disagreeing with respect, but I completely forgot. Pierce Morgan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Talk shit about Andrew Tate. Got to the point where he was like, you know what? Come on the show. Let's have a public discussion.
Mm-hmm.
I think they had like a 2-3 hour public discussion on Pierce Morgan's show, right? And for those of you who don't know who Pierce Morgan is, he's like the fucking Ryan Seacrest of daytime talk shows in the UK, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's that guy in the UK for talk shows during the day. So he brings Andrew Tate on, right? Has him there for 2-3 hours. By the end of their discussion, right, they play a match of chess at the end, right? I don't remember who won. I think Andrew Tate won, right?
There's the second one, the second interview.
Yeah, like he checkmates him, right? I remember that. But so he has Andrew Tate on the show and everything. And by the end of the first one, he says, you know what? I grilled him for 2 hours and I really gave him a tough time. I was really giving him shit. I was really like challenging him. And by the end of the 2 hours, he concluded that he still disagrees with Andrew Tate, but he cannot fathom why people hate him so much. Because nothing about what the way he went about what he said or what he was saying or anything about him is rude or disrespectful or totally out of line. He's very respectful, very educated, very like well-spoken. And this is a man who was giving Andrew Tate shit.
Yeah.
He probably brought him onto the show like, I'm going to embarrass this guy. Right?
Yeah, of course.
Like, you
That's
know.
the agenda.
Exactly. The agenda. And then left like, nah, he's a pretty good guy. Just, we disagree.
Yeah. Which is fine. Like, that's the way, like, even though he disagrees, there's not like, fuck you. You shouldn't have a living. You shouldn't have millions. You shouldn't have all these cars. You shouldn't have everything you've ever worked for. Should all be taken away from you just because you believe this. It's like, all right, dude, you believe what you believe. I believe what I believe. At the end of the day, we could shake hands and go our separate ways. Yeah. If the world did that, oh my God, this place would be a utopia. This would be a freaking utopia, but it's not the world we live in.
Utopia wouldn't make money.
Exactly. Utopias don't make money. Exactly. Perfect point. That's a perfect point to make. Utopias do not make money. And that's why I get frustrated when the reason why I disagree with the other side too is because like there's people pushing like socialism and all these things and all. Look at every country that to my knowledge that has that either was social, well actually that was socialist or communist. Yeah. How many of them exist today? How many of them have a thriving economy that do exist? For the few that do exist, how many of their economies are thriving and they're strong and powerful countries? Zero. There's still communist countries, sure, or maybe socialist countries, sure. But are they any of? Do they have any influence on the world? No. I'll tell you right now. Somebody might say, "Oh, but Russia is not communist. Russia is not a communist society.
Neither is China, by the way.
And neither is China. Exactly. They may have used to be.
China used to be.
There's a reason why they're not no more.
China developed a capitalist economic system, which is why they became what they became and are the fucking every single thing ever created in the history of ever was manufactured in China. Yeah. And like now Tesla moved to. I'm about to go on a fucking side tangent. But
I've actually heard some things recently, some like opposing views towards China. It's very interesting about people thinking it's actually gonna tank real soon. But that's a whole different
I would need to do more research. I would
discussion,
need
yeah.
to educate myself more.
Yeah, that's a whole nother discussion. But my fault. What were you gonna say? I cut you off.
No, I was just adding to your point. Like China, yeah, everybody thinks that they're either gonna take over the world, right? Well, guess what? They swapped over to a capitalist society.
Yeah.
Hence why they have like a business. Like now they're developing their own business as opposed to just knocking off every other country ever.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, exactly. And that's my point. They cannot thrive as a country on a socialist or communistic economy. There's a reason why capitalism has existed for this long in America and why it's been so successful for this long in America. And then you're here trying to push socialism. Like, no, this is right. Granted, I see why they want it, right? Like in theory, it's cool. Like, and in theory, communism is fucking awesome. In theory, socialism is fucking awesome. But in practice, it's horrendous.
yeah,
So just use common sense. Look, okay, I understand. Like, it'd be cool if everybody, we could all be equal and we live in this utopia. But now let's live in the real world. Is that ever going to happen? Absolutely not. One, it doesn't work. It's been proven to not work because as humans, it goes against our human nature.
yep, that's what I was.
So it just can't work. The only economic system that works into human nature is capitalism. That's why it's so successful because it incorporates human nature into it. You can be fucking a nobody and build something for yourself and become the fucking man in a capitalist society. You think you could do that if you're fucking dealing in a fucking communist society, fucking scraping, I don't know what, fucking scraping leeches off and trying to cook them and sell them to people? Like, bro, that's just not going to happen.
It's not.
It's not going to happen. That there's freaking kingdoms and this person who's too powerful and the monarchies and there's all these other things. Like, it just doesn't work. And even in like Arabic countries, they are monarchists, right? And not monarchies. There are monarchies where there's a king and all these things, but to an extent, there's still a level of capitalism involved in their economies. Every single powerful country, every single country that has money, that's a first world country, or has influence on the world, has some type of capitalism incorporated into their economy. Whether it's 100% true capitalism or some kind of capitalism, it exists, and it exists for a reason, which is going back to everything to wrap it all up, which is what fucking triggers me so much when these people try to push this movement like, oh no, we have to be this, everybody's equal, you can be this, you can be that, you can be this. And I'm like, no, that shit doesn't work.
It doesn't.
It doesn't work. When in history has it ever worked? Never. You know why? It's not fucking human nature, bro. I don't know. To me, it's just common knowledge. It's just logical. But common sense isn't so common.
I was just you took the words out of my fucking mouth.
Ignorance is more popular. But anyways, that's the end of my rants. Another thing we were supposed to touch on, I don't know how far into it we are now, but as far as going back to the Andrew Tate thing, like just seeing how he's in prison now, like how a lot of the things he said was going to happen has happened and has been proving him right. Now that he's in jail, what's your opinion on him in jail? Do you think he is guilty of human trafficking? Do you think he's in jail for why do you think he's there? How do you think it's going to play out?
Very good question. So I'll start off by saying, and look, I don't think the motherfucker was out here trafficking people in any way, shape, or form, right? But if it comes out in 4 years that he did, cool, you can play this back, and I'll be like, damn, yeah, I was wrong.
Yeah.
But I don't think he was. How will this play out, and why don't I think he was? So when you look at, right, one of the things was the OnlyFans business, right? That he was forcing girls to do this. He's very publicly said, and many of the girls have come forward and said, no, like, we chose to do that. Like, we were paid, but, like, yeah, like, we chose to do that kind of thing. On top of that, I saw it today, too. The two, and we were talking about this before, it was like the two leading witnesses didn't even know that their names were being used in this. They were like, yo, like, we never made these calls. Like, it wasn't us, right? This also isn't the first time, right? They did this back in whatever month it was. And it was like, no, you see the girl walking in and leaving in an Uber by herself. Like,
no, she walked out grab the pizza and then walk back
Yeah,
inside.
like everything is totally at will. Like there's nobody with a gun to her fucking head, right?
Mhm.
And of course, maybe there's things off cameras that we don't know. Cool, of course. Do I think the guy's a saint? Probably not. Do I think he's out here committing some fucking human trafficking acts? Fucking no.
Yeah.
Like, at most, I'll give him some like money laundering shit. Like that's what all rich people do. But
Yeah.
like, if you're gonna tell me that he's doing anything of that nature, I'm gonna be like, nah, that.
Yeah. Yeah. So for me, I don't know. To me, it just doesn't make sense. Like, think about how big he is, how much money he has, everything he has, right?
So many eyes.
What does he get from human trafficking? What does he get from it? What does he benefit from that? To me, it just makes no sense of why somebody of that level of status would do that.
Mm-hmm.
I can understand if like he's doing the OnlyFans, the webcam business, like how he did to get there. But once you're there, there's no need to do it no more.
Yeah.
Why keep doing that? What he's probably making off that is pennies. That's probably like the month's bill for 1 month.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's unnecessary. So for me, I don't think he did human trafficking. I don't think that's the case at all. I was talking about it earlier with someone, and I'm saying someone just because I don't know if they want me to throw it out there or not, but they know who they are if they watch it. But I was talking with them, and what he said was basically his speculation around it is not that the human trafficking, especially because the lawyer has come out and said his defense team hasn't been able to see the criminal case. They have no idea what the evidence they have is, what the argument is, what the whole case is on. They have no idea. They haven't been able to see it. They've been withholding it from them. 2 women then come out, call, that are supposedly 2 of the 6 victims, and come out and call on live news and say, no, we're not victims. He's like family to me. We have no idea why we're part of this.
Yeah.
Like, we've never worked for him, never worked with him. We're just cool. Like, I don't understand what this is about. So this person was saying that it raised the suspicion that maybe there was enough reasonable doubt so that they can go and arrest him. And once they arrest him, now they have the warrants to search all his property to then go in and find something else. Find something that either they maybe have an idea of, a hint of, or they've been tipped off on, or to just find something so they could say, oh, okay, actually he's proven innocent on human trafficking, but we found this, so now he has to go to jail for this. And that could be the other thing, because why else hold him for 30 days? Right? If it's just an investigation, he was just detained for questioning as part of the investigation. And why is he still there? Why are they still there for him and his brother for 30 days extra? It's because they're probably trying to find something to build a case on.
Yeah.
And either one, they haven't yet, which is why there's no criminal case being shared with the lawyers and no evidence being shared because they haven't found anything yet. Or they did find something. It has nothing to do with human trafficking, but the lawyer is getting ready for human trafficking, and then they slap something else on that the lawyer had no idea about or isn't prepared for. And then he has a weak argument, and they could prosecute him for that. So that's the only other option I could see it going. Other than that, I don't think he's human trafficking people. In my personal opinion, just logically, to me, it just doesn't make sense. Like, even if they came out and said, oh, look, it's true, this, and that, I'm not going to lie, I'd still be skeptical. Because there's so many, the fact that they're not letting the lawyer see the criminal case is like, all right, I don't know how much I believe you now. Yeah. Like, now there's way too much skepticism involved. If they've been showing it and everything's been clear, transparent throughout the whole thing, and they find them guilty, then it's like, all right, okay, I guess you got them. But when you're withholding a criminal case
from the lawyers,
you're making it worse. You're making your case, you're proving him right again. Like, they just keep fucking up. They're trying to do something, and they just keep fucking it up, unless it's done deliberately for that reason. So that's the only way I could see him going to jail, if it's they're framing him for this to be able to find something else, or in hopes to find something else. But I don't think he will go to jail for human trafficking, in my opinion. Yeah, no. It's interesting though. Like, I wonder how it's all gonna play out. I wonder when the trial and all that stuff will be. I think it might be soon, but I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, I'm curious to see how it plays out, because I think either way the government loses. There's no way where it plays out and they win, unless, like I said, they find something. Like, money laundering or tax evasion, some shit like that. I don't know what laws they have in Romania, but if something like that, that's the only way they'll come out on top. If they can find hardcore substance about that. But if they don't, I think he's going to make it out. And if he makes it out, the opposing side is going to be fucking furious.
Oh, yeah.
And so are those. And if there is any government involvement of other countries, they're also going to be fucking furious. And if he does go to jail, then they prove everything he's ever said to be true. And it creates this side of people to go 1,000 times harder than they've ever gone before. And you're going to see 10 times more people speaking out than ever before on the topic. So it's like, it's a lose-lose situation. They really can't win. Yeah. So they either have to find something or they're going to make something up. It's one of the two, but I don't think it's for human trafficking. I think they're looking for something else. And they have to find something else if that's what they're going to do. Because I'm telling you, if he wins, if he loses, people are going to be there's going to be a crazy uproar.
Oh, yeah.
There's going to be oh my God, for days and probably months, you're just going to see his name. As much as they try to bury it, you're just going to keep singing it. There's no way that happens and it just gets buried and goes on the quiet. Nah, there's already a lot of people talking about it. It's too late now.
It's true.
You got to pick one. Hope you pick right.
You chose to fuck with the most Googled man on the planet.
Yeah. The thing was, they didn't really if they just paid attention to what he said, they could have handled it differently. But that's what happens when you prove his point right. That you're emotional, you're trying to push an agenda, you're trying to do all these things. Well, then you handle it in a stupid way. And now look, they're going to lose regardless. There's no way the government, at least the Romanian government, or to the public eye, they've lost. There's no way they win. No way they win. If he comes out, the other side is angry. If he doesn't come out, the other side is 10 times angrier. And if he magically dies from whatever medical ailment he apparently has, there's also way too much skepticism now because of what he's been saying. So, I don't know. It'll be interesting how it plays out the next couple of months.
This was all Greta Thunberg.
Yeah.
She did all this.
Yeah, no, that's funny as hell. I don't think she had anything to do.
She had nothing to do with it. She's a fucking 18-year-old girl.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the other thing. Everybody was like, oh, yeah, Greta Thunberg, fucked them over. Yeah, good job, Greta Thunberg, because the pizza box or whatever. Yeah. That's why they got him. It's like, come on, bro. You really think they got him because of the pizza box? Let's be logical here. The guy's the most Googled man on earth. He just came into the country. He has to scan his passport, go through security. You think they don't know he's in the country? This is the most Googled man on earth, and they're just not going to know, oh, look, Andrew Tate's not in Romania. Nah, I didn't just see him get into that car. No, I didn't see him walk out his plane. No, I'm the pilot. I didn't report that I just landed here and who I landed with, who was in the manifest. Like, come on, bro. Let's be logical now. You think Greta Thunberg got him caught because of a fucking pizza box? Come on. It's one thing if he's in Romania and he's hiding and then they found him that way. Mm-hmm. He wasn't even hiding. He was in his house.
They were saying that's how they knew he was in the country. Like, it's not it just 1 + 1 ain't equaling 2 here. Like,
yeah, but even so
stupid.
Even so is because of a pizza box, they're gonna know he's in the country. I think they already knew. They were just waiting for the warrant to come through, and it was just the timing. I don't know. To me, it just doesn't make sense that because of the pizza box they got him. Which I remember when I saw the video, I saw him pull the pizza box and I was like, I don't know if that was a good idea. I kind of got skeptical. I was like, either one. At first I was like, damn, I think something might happen because that pizza box, he might be giving away his location. But on the contrary, it's like you can Google his house. So it's not really that big of a deal. And then the second thing I thought was, maybe he pulled the pizza box in the video on purpose. Maybe he did it on purpose because of something. Maybe he got tipped off on something and that was purposeful so they know, okay, come get him. Maybe it's a subliminal message or whatever to be protected or whatever. That was the other thing, but I don't know. That's just speculation, but it could be those things, but I don't know. I don't think he's going to jail. Yeah. And if he does, shit's gonna hit the fan.
The one caveat that I have with all this is we gotta remember, this ain't the United States justice system.
Exactly.
This is some fucking country where the highest bidder wins.
That's true. And there's also there could definitely be government influence. Think about it. If a country is getting Romania this product and they're making $15 billion a year towards their economy off this product, and that government doesn't like him because of something he's saying.
That's causing trouble over here.
You think Romania's not going to put him in jail? Of course they are. You think they're going to give up $15 billion for this guy? No, they don't give a fuck. That country's going to be like, okay, you don't put him in jail, we'll take away your resources. And Romania's like, okay, now we got to go do something.
Yeah.
You know, now it's causing problems to the economy or to the government, things like that. So, yeah, that's the other thing. How their justice system works is very different. So, anyways, that's the end of my ranting for today. I went on a lot of rants. I've been talking too much. I'm tired of my voice. So that's that. You got anything you want to close off on? Any questions, topics before?
Nah, I'm pretty much clean. That was a pretty good one. We jumped around a lot. We touched on more than I expected to.
Yeah, it definitely did.
But it was like, it's like conversation that needs to be had. Like,
yeah,
can't just be like, oh, good for that guy, he got arrested, right? Like, nah, I need to know what's going on behind the scenes. Need to know, like, does this man deserve that or not?
Mm-hmm.
I swear to God, I've hit this mic more times this episode than since we got him. Just educate yourself. When you're presented with a topic or a belief, look at both sides or all sides, because there could be more than two sides, right? Educate yourself. Dive in. Really try to understand the opposing side and try to negate your side.
Yep.
I think that's a key. And when you see the herds moving in one direction, that's usually not a good sign. Like,
yeah,
it's usually like, let me double check that. Somebody has to double check it.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I think everyone should ask why, question things, not to be a cynic, but just to generally understand and get perspective on why, and then formulate your opinion from there and choose a side from there. And like you said, if everybody's going this way, don't just go that way. Question why are they going that way first, and why is nobody going this way? Then choose which way you're going to go. And with that, you get much further in life in general. And you become less emotional too. So anyways, that's all I've got. It's episode 43, Lost Boyz Podcast. Please comment down what you thought about this. Any points you disagree with, agree with. Are you pro Andrew Tate? Are you anti Andrew Tate? Are you one of the rare Pokemon? Are you one of the rare Pokemons that is in the middle? And why? What things do you agree with, and what things don't you agree with? Vice versa. And most of all, like and subscribe, bro. Please subscribe. 52 is coming soon. We need 100 subscribers for the 1 year anniversary. So please subscribe, share with friends, family, all that stuff. And let's get to it, man. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.